Hi guys, welcome to another episode on the Rocks Conversations with your favorite girl Ololade. On today's episode, okay, before I go to today's episode, it's been a minute here. Like I've not been here for a minute, and just a very brief explanation because I cannot just go like that and come back. I would just say is that at the point I was very overwhelmed with a lot of things, with life, with work, and there was just this mental stress and all of that. But I think that I'm getting to a much better space now because a lot of those things are kind of like going away, small, small, like that. Yeah. So that's a brief explanation. It's not an excuse. I mean, I could have still tried, but I couldn't find it in me to do anything during that time. So yeah. But I'm glad to be here. I'm super glad. It feels like when I'm recording and when I'm just sharing on this space, it feels like all is all is well, all is right again in the world. Yeah, I have that feeling all the time. So yeah, I'm just really glad to be. I'm super glad to be here. And on this episode, I'm just here to share my thoughts, my ponderings, my opinions, I guess, on a particular subject matter, which is like influence. Just that's influence, right? And when I say that word, when I speak that word, a lot of the time don't come to my mind is influence belongs to the bold, and it's so true. It is extremely true. But as much as influence belongs to the bold and all that, there's also the aspect of you or me. Let me use myself now. There's also the aspect of me getting influenced even when I do not realize it, right? Because I feel that if you sit down and think about a lot of things that you currently do or things that you currently view as characters that you have, you then begin to realize and maybe even trace them to a form of source, to something that, you know, influenced you, let me use the word, to start acting that certain way or to develop that particular character, right? So, as I said all of that to say that influence is a real thing, even when you don't realize it. You like peer pressure. I don't know if I really like that term peer pressure because I always think about it as like it's something that always happens, right? With people. Maybe you have friends in school, and this is me like going back to like when we were so much younger and all. I just realized that you pick up on things that they are doing even when you are not. But even I feel it's even very very easy to be influenced when your mind is not there, like when you are not putting so much conscious thoughts into it, right? You just see that you're starting to do things that you don't even know when you picked up on those characters, right? So I think that um when it comes to being influenced, right, it's something that we need to like constantly introspect on, check ourselves. Oh, I can see that I've started acting this way, or I can see that I'm doing this thing that I wasn't doing a few months ago. Where did this come from? When did this start? That kind of thing. I think that it actually really goes a long way in helping us monitor our progress, or it will quickly help us stop things that we should not be doing, that kind of thing. And now when it comes to influence, there is the positive side to it, definitely, most definitely, and then there's the negative influence as well. For positive influence, like that's when you see yourself, maybe there's something that your dad used to do or say, right? Or your mom, or growing up, maybe there were some things you used to observe or see. And maybe at that time when you were much younger, you didn't even know that it was something that was registering in your mind. And then now that you're much older, you're seeing yourself start to practice those things. For example, maybe savings culture had been you know, it was something that was a thing for you growing up, maybe at home or wherever. And then now you realize that it's so easy for you, or it's something that you just feel like you must do because, and you've probably never even thought much about it, like, why do I like doing this, or why do I think I have to do this, right? So that's a form of positive influence, because I mean savings is good. Or another kind of positive influence, let me see, um maybe your parents, or growing up you had people that really believed in God, right? And you saw their faith, you saw how it was for them, you saw what they were doing with their faith, and maybe at that time you didn't even take it so serious, you didn't even like think it was a big deal. And then growing up, you're now seeing yourself. Okay, now let me give myself as an example, especially on this subject of faith. Definitely growing up, like my parents are Christians and all of that. And I grew up in the church, let me put it that way. But I would say that I never really what's the word? My mind was not there. Like that's the only way that I can explain it, to be honest, just using that plain English. But it wasn't, I was just doing it. It was very passive for me, right? It was very, very passive. And it wasn't until when I was in uni, I had a roommate. All right, I shared a room with someone that she was just very. I don't know. You know that thing of someone waking up every day in the morning praying. Trust me, this was something that I used to do at home. I don't know. I can't explain it. But then I didn't just see it as such a maybe big deal, if I can say it like that. But then it meant something to me, seeing someone away from home, not with her parents or whatever. She wake up, pray, read her Bible, was serious about church and this and that and that. At that time, I would not say that, oh, immediately I saw her acting that way, I picked up on that. I was like, oh, yes, my life is changed. No, it wasn't really that. It was more of a slow thing for me that, oh, I want to explore this thing. And it was so funny that a lot of things that I currently do now, right? If I trade, like when it comes to my my Christian growth and all of that, a lot of things I currently do now, I can trace it back to that time. She didn't know. She wasn't preaching to me. She wasn't coming to tell me, oh, one thing. No, it was just really by what she was doing. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought to put that out there, and I got like it kind of impacted me, not in a small way, to be honest. Currently, I hardly listen to like secular music. And when I'm saying hardly, that's because maybe I still these days now I try to curate like clean stuff. I'm very, very particular about what I listen to. I curate it. Like if I listen to your lyrics and you're saying something that is not sitting well in my head, you can't find it on my phone. You can't find it plugged in my ear, me listening to it. If I ever learn any this is me. I feel like I'm trying to now give a disclaimer in case you see me singing some, I don't know, whatever song, maybe the video or whoever, one day. I mean, trust me, well, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, everybody's using this sound. Somehow, you just stay in your head and you find yourself singing or whatever. Yeah, that happens. But like intention, because I really love music, right? And I'm very intentional now about what I listen to. Maybe not maybe before, anything and everything used to go for me, music wise, everything. Even there were some songs that I'll tell you that, oh my god, I really loved this song that year. What beautiful music! And then I'm trying to listen to it now, and I'm like, cringe. What am I find? What did I find? In this song, because the lyrics, the kind of message that they're passing across to, and I don't like my value and the value of what they are saying in that song. It doesn't align. Let me be serious. Yeah, it doesn't follow. It doesn't follow, and then I don't listen, because I also think that, and the reason I came to this, right, is that a lot of we can get influenced a lot of ways, not just by people that we know personally, right? Like I give the example of sharing a room with someone that impacted me in a type of way. Even like the songs we listen to, the movies we watch, God, the books we read. I can go on and on about the kind of influence that the books we read, especially maybe because of the kind of mind that I have. I think that reading actually gets to me. Like how do I put it? It changed. It's I'm trying to look for a like the best way to put it. But yeah, what I read. really just imprint itself in my mind. I think I have a very pictorial mind because I find myself like when I'm reading a book, if I don't have a picture, like so the words must begin to now look like a picture for me, which can be a good thing, especially when I'm trying to maybe read a subject for maybe exams or whatever. Because once I start to picture it in my mind, maybe a particular process, then I'm picturing it in my mind. And I mean, I really love watching videos like that helps me make sense of those things. So it begins to make sense to me, and I'm very less likely to forget. Now, imagine me with that kind of mind reading things that are not edifying, or and this is edifying, yes, but like things that are not pure, like reading very maybe reading dirty things, or all these books. So growing up I used to read a lot of all this romance. Romance is a good word for it, I promise you. Because these people would describe some things and you're like, hey, wait, what's happening here? And I mean, I know this now, but that time I did not know. That's the truth. I don't know, but I feel like a lot of people were in that. At least a lot of people that love to read were in that. Were caught in that. Did I say were? But I don't know. And then you would picture unnecessary things in your mind that like I had no business even thinking about or even knowing about at that time. So yeah, so what you read, at least for me, what I read, I know now that what I read, and I feel that in a way now kind of, because I used to, and the funny thing it wasn't just those books I liked to read. I used to love reading everything. I mean, we didn't have phones to bury our heads in or anything. So, and my dad had all these old books. I remember, I think this was one of the fondest memories, like growing up, even when we were on holidays or whatnot. I'll carry books that don't even have anything to do with me. Definitely, my dad will not keep dirty books in his shelf, right? But yeah, so good books, and I'll read books, politics. I think that was the first. It was from my dad's shelf. I read Animal Farm. Read that book over and over, and yeah, all those type of things were good for me. But then I was also reading unnecessary things. I think when I went to boarding school and all of that. So yeah, and like now it is now that I know, right, that what you read goes a long way in influencing your worldview, your opinions, even your values, right? Because you're like when you're reading stuff, I feel like you're consuming. It's a form of consumption. You're consuming stuff, and then it begins to show. Like it then begins to produce fruits in like the things you think, the way you see some things, the way you act, like the things that you begin to believe, right? So apart from reading, I think that another thing is the movies that we watch. I feel like it also goes hand in hand with like what I had explained earlier about painting pictures in your mind, which then begins to like influence your thoughts, your values, your opinions, and beliefs on like on different things in life. And you might not agree with me. A lot of people might not. I've already said this. I said this earlier. The music that we listen to, the songs that we hear, I honestly 100% believe that songs I like maybe if, I'm trying to think about it now, like compared to the kind of old that books used to have on me and kind of way that it used to shape my view and my I feel like there are people that songs would have much like that same kind of impact that books used to have on me. I feel like there are people that songs will have that kind of impact on. And it is then very scary, especially in this world where we're now having songs with very dirty, and this is not even me trying to say listen to gospel songs. Of course, that's my favorite genre. Like, if I'm ever going to recommend, if I'm going to recommend 10 songs to you, maybe 8 out of those songs are gospel songs because, well, that's, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. It's just what it is. I love gospel songs. It brings into it's very beautiful. I feel when people are singing like biblical realities and scriptures and just things that edify. It is very beautiful to listen to. I'm definitely going to be for that every time, any day. Well, I also believe strongly that because I mean, come on, I like to dance, so I might not know how to, whatever, but I actually do like to dance. And now, um, I believe that even if I'm going to dance to a song, at least let it be whatever is true, whatever is pure, right? That's what's in our Bible, right? So if I'm going to listen to a song, let it be something with pure lyrics, with clean wordings, that I'll be proud and happy to talk and say it. Like if I'm singing a song about love, right? Let it be something that, oh, if I actually love someone, I love a guy, I can actually read those words to him. Like, oh, this. There's no song I listened to recently, of course, from one of my favorite artists, An Endless Ocean. I'm trying to remember the name of the song now because it recently released an EP. And there was this line, it was even like two lines back to back in that song. It's so painful that I can't remember now. And I had to quickly type it and send it to, like, my guy. Let me put it that way. I had to send it to him like, no, but this goes hard. Like, love it. If someone writes a love letter to me and put those words, I'll be happy. Like, it would be nice. It would not be dirty. It would not be perverted. Like, you're not perversing the idea of what love is. You understand? Yeah. But then now, when we're not having songs, we have a lot of songs that will just talk about women's body parts in a very dirty way. Or they'll talk about the idea of what love is in a dirty way, or even sex, or even money. Like we have songs promoting internet fraud. Like, how are you listening to it? And how do you buck your head and dance with joy? Except, and this is not me saying I'm perfect, because trust me, I think I've listened to some songs that I didn't even know what they meant. Maybe it was now later when I was deep in it. Like, this is what this person was saying. And maybe from then on, it's not maybe, most times from then on, I'm now very conscious in my interaction with that song because I don't want to be caught saying unnecessary things. It might not even affect me, it might be affecting other people, right? So I'm just very particular about songs. And this is just me saying we should like be very, very conscious of things that we consume. When it comes to your mind, like there are entrances to the things that come, like to the things that influence your mind and how you view life in general. Your eyes, what your eyes is seeing, what your ear, right? What you're hearing, what you're listening to. Those are the things that influence your thoughts. I dare say that it's even kind of it goes a long way in now determining how far you go in life. Yeah, it goes a long way because those are the things that influence your thoughts. And before you can even actualize anything in real life or in like the physical whatever, you've probably thought about it. So your mind is like a place to grow stuff, to that's where you bring out ideas from that, that shapes your life into what it is. So imagine that you're now putting very perverted things. Trust me, a lot of things you do in real life will be perverted as well, right? And I don't know, this is just me sharing my own opinion. I'm not even telling you what to do because at the end of the day, nobody go tell you what you go do. This is just me like sharing, like it's like what I'll tell a friend, really. Like why? I think that unity is good, right? I think it's a good thing, a very awesome thing to be very conscious about what you listen to. So if you're going to listen to a song, maybe the first time, like listen to the lyrics. What are they saying in this song and what does it mean? If I'm going to read a book, who is this author? Well, I've read books that were not even necessarily bad, even fiction. I'm not going to mention one particular book because it's a popular book. I read it and I'm like, Azal, you know, these things you are saying, I'm not sure that I 100% like subscribe to this way of thinking, and I left it there. It's not even everything that you read, even the ones that are supposedly self-help books. It's okay to question things and think about, oh, does this thing align with my current values? And you know I just don't think that it's everything that you should consume, and I don't think it's everything that you should put in your mind. Um, all of that being said, I'm just going to speak very briefly again about another very, 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 very how do I put it? A very, very big way. Let me put it, that's the way I can describe it now. That's what I'm thinking about. That people get influenced currently, and it's social media. I know. I mean, I've spoken about like traditional media, books, movies, music, like all of that. social media is the currently, I think that because a lot of us are there, almost, let's say we're not 1,000 in the world, but let's assume that we were 1,000 in the world, maybe 900 and something people are there, right? Sharing content, consuming stuff. And when I say consumption, obviously like reading, watching, listening, and all of that on social media. Now, you can't really police what people post. Like that's one conclusion. I've thought about this matter. I've thought about it so much, and I've come to the conclusion that you can't really police what people decide to do with their social media pages. What they decide to post on the timeline, what they decide to say, you can't control it. It's fine to realize and understand. I feel that when you have that understanding, you even get less annoyed when you see some things, when you see some funny takes on the timeline, you get less annoyed. Like it doesn't get to you as much. And me, I'm saying this to you because it's something I had to realize, right? Because I will not be caught on the internet exchanging words with unnecessary about like especially with unnecessary people. Let me put it that way. Because there are a lot of people that they don't even watch your time. You see, especially on that Twitter, not even Instagram now. I feel like Instagram people are still much more. I mean, I've come across some posts. I'll check the comment section. And I'm like, what's wrong with people? But that's Instagram. I don't know. They don't really disturb me like that. But you see, Twitter, that place. Sometimes, if possible, stay away from it for days, if possible. It's something that I do. Like, and it's so funny because me, I will even say, no, if you tell me about something that's currently happening on Twitter, I'll be like, I'm not there. Everybody that knows me, like in real life, knows, rather, everybody that knows me personally knows. I'll tell, yeah, I've deleted Twitter. I would have probably known about this thing going on. I think that's one of the reasons I like in Twitter, because you kind of know things in real time. But I don't even think that it is so healthy to know everything going on in real time. As like it can get overwhelming. It can get overwhelming. Then coupled with the fact that like life is happening in one side, and then Twitter will not be doing its own. Especially if you're someone like me that, like I explained before, when I read things, it is vivid in my mind. So I would rather not. And trust me, I have tried. Oh, I want to curate my timeline. There was a time I was like, oh yeah, I just want to be very like what I want to be seen more of on Twitter was like, oh, Christian tweets, like not Christian tweets, more like there are people that call and you say you're Christian Twitter. Well, it was a very bad idea. And this is of course I'm a Christian. Of course I love like spaces and platforms that, promote like people talking about their Christian faith and experiences and all of that. But then I now realized that come on, it's like this Christian Twitter in quotes that I wanted to come and be seeing more of. They even like to fight more than they like to edify. And it was a problem for me. But then, like I said, all of that, this is something that I've come to realize over the years, and I've come to that conclusion that I mentioned earlier. I cannot police what people post, but I can police what me I'm exposed to. So now I like if you check my muted words on Twitter, it's probably a lot. I've never checked it before, but I just know that if I see something trending and I want to know patterns, I begin to mute words. Yeah. There was a time when I kept seeing like nude things on my time. I'm like, why? Why should I like why? Why am I why this? You understand? So I started to mute any tweet that has naked nudes nudity. They don't even use nudity like that, but you see that naked body. Like there were some words I just started to mute because I did not want to see it. There's some so or maybe somebody posts something and then you now repost it because you reposted it. That's what I'm saying. I'll block you that reposted it and I'll block you that posted it. And this is not because of anything. It's just because I'm trying to keep my own space. I want it a certain type of way, and I would love it that way. And even with the fact that I've tried all of these steps and whatever, the greatest way to the detox, yes, that's the word. The greatest way to detox from Twitter for me that I've realized is to just stay off completely. So like for weeks on end, I'm not just there. I don't want to know about it. If it's happening, like what can be I will find out on WhatsApp eventually, like my people that are used to be that somebody will just post it and I'll be like, okay, that's what's happening, awesome, great. But it doesn't get to me as much on WhatsApp because I can decide. I don't know. WhatsApp is just chill for me sometimes because sometimes I stay away as well when it becomes too much. So I'm saying all of this to say that yes, the media, social media especially, can be very overwhelming. Um, it can influence you in ways that you don't even know. But then you're reading everybody's opinions and you're reading their this and you're letting it get to you and you're soaking it all up. Then you begin, rather, you realize that you begin to speak in a way that you probably did not used to talk before. You're saying words that you don't normally say before. You need to check it. You need to introspect, like I mentioned earlier, introspect, trace the source of that kind of behavior and uproot it immediately, right? It's something that I have tried to do. Like, for example, I hardly would you ever hear me like use curse words and shout out to a particular somebody. Shout out to a particular somebody, I think that was when I was in uni, and then, with the past, we don't talk like that. And I don't know, for some reason, I really stopped. So even now, if I'm having a conversation with someone and then you keep using curse words, I'm looking at you like some type of way, like, why? Why can't you just talk normally and all of that? Yeah. So, and then if I now start to realize that I'm starting to use words that I don't normally use, I will start to why am I okay, is this person? Maybe I'll reduce my communication with you. I'll even let you know that you see this thing you're saying is already affecting me. Can you stop it? If you cannot stop it, leave me alone, or I'll remove myself from you. Or maybe it's because of something I read or something that I watched. Right. Our mind, your mind is very yeah, like our minds are very, very your mind is powerful, let me put it that way. Right. And if you realize that your mind is very powerful, so that can shape your life, you would then be very, 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 very careful and very, very cautious and even intentional about the kind of things that you let into your mind. Right. So everything, let me just summarize everything that I've been saying because this is already a very long episode, guys. But everything that I've been saying is we are all products of influence at the end of the day. You might not realize it, but I think that it is good that you begin to realize it. If maybe there's something that you're currently doing that you notice that you didn't used to do before, but now you're doing it, you need to trace the source of whatever. You need to trace the source. Is this something you're watching, something you're reading, something you're consuming in a way, and uproot it completely if you can, right? If you cannot uproot it completely, limit your access to it. It goes a long way in helping to renew your mind, And with all of that being said, I just really hope that everything that I've said or shared here resonates with you and it helps you to just think on the kind of influences that you are currently allowing into your life and how it's shaping you and shaping everything that you currently do. It was really, really good to share. I feel like I've let something off my chest. I feel so, yeah, I'm happy that I was able to share that. And I think that I'll catch you on my next episode, guys. I really do not want to go, but I have to. I'll catch you on my next episode. Thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys.